Hello, good evening everyone. I formally welcome all of you to this live session on getting your masters in the USA after engineering. In this particular session, we will be talking about MS in the USA. We will be talking about all the colleges, all the universities which are very good and that you should consider. We will also be talking about different specializations that you have. And at the end, we will be talking about a little bit about GRE and TOEFL and different exams, SOP, LOR, all those things. I'm very sure if you are considering going for masters in the USA, you will have thousands of questions. Starting from where will you find the accommodation? What are the good colleges? What are the different, is there a good research exposure or not? There will be thousands of questions that you might have. And trust me, you will be getting the answers to most of your questions in this particular session. But before we start with this session, I want all of you to let me know in the chat box whether I'm clearly visible, whether I'm audible or not. Once you will confirm, we will be starting with this session right away. So please do let me know in the chat box whether I'm clearly visible, I'm audible or not. I already see a lot of people are saying hi, hello Nitin, hi Piyush, Sheikh Zunaren. Hello, hi everybody. I welcome all of you to this session by Great Learning. And also, I do want to inform all of you that if you are looking forward to a one-on-one session with our experts, please do go to the description box where you will find a link. You can go to that link, fill that link, and our experts and the program managers will reach out to you and will give you all the clarifications which is required for these particular MS programs in the USA. So if you have any questions, any clarification, you need one-on-one counseling, go to the description box, fill that link, fill that details which are required for that particular link, and our experts will reach out to you. All right, I see a lot of people are confirming. Girish, Sumit Tiwari, Sumit, hi everybody, and thanks for confirming. So let's not waste any time and directly move forward with this particular session. So as you can see on the screen, the very first thing that we will be discussing in this session is about MS in the USA, where we'll be talking about what exactly is this program MS all about. We'll be talking about different specializations that are there. Then why study MS in the USA? What exactly is the reason behind it? When we talk about MS in the USA, why there's so much hype? Why there's so much interest about that? We'll be discussing all of that in detail. Then we'll be exploring the eligibility criteria for MS, whether you are eligible or not. If you are not eligible, what can you do with your profile in order to become eligible for these MS programs or MS degree in the USA. Then we'll be talking about the exams, that is GRE, graduate record examination, and then TOEFL, that is test of English as a foreign language, so which is your language proficiency exam. We'll be talking about these two exams in much more detail in the upcoming part of the session. Then components of a good SOP. SOP is your statement of purpose. So what exactly is the main reason you write an SOP? Why an SOP is actually required? What is the value that it holds? We'll be talking about all those things. Then the primary sections of an LOR or your letter of recommendation. Who writes the letter of recommendation? What exactly is the need of it? And we'll be talking about the other aspects and the primary sections of it. And then finally, I will be taking any questions that you might have, any doubts that you might have, and we'll be discussing all those questions and any other discussions which are required. Throughout this session, I want all of you to be very enthusiastic. If you have any questions, any clarification is required, whatever we are discussing, if you have any questions, any ideas related to it, please use the chat box and I'll be seeing the chat box once in a while. And if there will be any doubts, any questions, I'll make sure I clarify all those questions. So let's move forward and try and understand about MS in the USA. So what exactly is MS first of all? As you all might know that MS stands for Master of Science. So in India, for example, you must have heard about MSc or MTech. So it's very much equivalent to that. MS stands for Master in Science or Master of Science. MS in the USA is a 2-year degree program that is offered in around 70% of the US universities. It is mostly for the STEM courses. STEM is your science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So if you are planning to go for any of the domains in science domain, in technical domain, in engineering, or in mathematics, then MS in the USA is a perfect choice that you can make for yourself. The MS is a specialized degree in a particular area of study. Now you might understand that what exactly are the different specializations. So you all must know that in USA there are so many specializations that are provided to these students, and you can choose from any one of those domains. If you want to get into the field like computer science, informational technology, data science, artificial intelligence, cyber security, cloud computing, any of these domains, or maybe you want to get into marketing, finance, there are programs like MS in marketing, MS in finance, but the most famous ones are definitely MS in computer science or MS in data science. Those are very, very good programs which are offered by all the good universities which are there, or all the good institutions which are there in the USA. And this is generally in one specialized area. So for example, you have done your BTech in civil engineering, now you want to go for MS in geotechnical engineering or survey engineering, you will get that choice. Similarly, if you have done your BTech or BE in computer science or IT or CSE, right, then in that case you will have domains like data science or artificial intelligence or machine learning or cloud computing. So in one particular area, one particular specialization, you will be able to pursue your MS in the USA in these top universities. Now, the next question that you might have is that why study MS in the USA? There are so many great institutions within India. You talk about Indian Institute of Technology, you talk about Indian Institute of Management. There are so many good institutions. Why are we considering MS in the USA then? So the number one reason is that USA is the home to top global universities. You talk about Ivy Leagues, you talk about other top institutes, Harvard University, Princeton University, JHU, that is your Johns Hopkins University, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, famously known as MIT, Stanford University, Columbia University, Yale University, and there are so many others like California Institute of Technology, which is Caltech. Right, so all these institutes are global top universities, and if you go to USA to pursue your MS in any of these universities, definitely you are going to get the exposure which is required to lead the data driven world. Right, so that's the beauty of doing your MS or pursuing your MS in the USA. Then emerging industries. So definitely when we talk about even the top 500 companies, the global 500 companies, out of those global 500 fortunes, around 120 to 122 companies are in the USA. So definitely you get a great career opportunity if you have done your MS in the USA. There are so many emerging industries, so many good companies out there that you can be a part of, definitely after pursuing your Master of Science in one particular domain like data science or computer science, as we have already discussed. Then one more beautiful part about this is that you will be getting a 36 months post-study work visa or OPT, that is your optional practical trainings. And this is generally for the STEM programs, science, technology, engineering or mathematics program. If you go for any specialization in these programs, you will be getting 36 months post-study work visa. So you can stay in the USA and you can, start working as well. So 36 months is equivalent to your 3 years, so you will be getting 3 years to do that. So that's also one of the good ways you can actually consider going for MS in the USA. Then top tier academic opportunities, that is also one more good part. So when we talk about academic opportunities, not just in terms of academics but also in terms of research, also in terms of getting the diverse exposure, also in terms of getting the practical exposure. Knowing something is one thing, but being able to apply that and solve a real world problem is another thing. Well, both of these things are very well covered in the curriculum which are designed by these top global universities in the USA. So you don't have to worry about it. If you want good academic opportunities, you want good career opportunities in one particular specialized domain, well, MS in the USA is what you need to consider. Then better career opportunities and high starting salaries. As I already told you, there are so many good companies, so many global companies out there in the USA, and you get a 36 months post study visa as well. So definitely you can be a part of all those companies. You can start your career from a different perspective altogether, and you can reach the heights that you can't even think about if you do your MS from some other country, right? And that is also one of the reason that there's so much hype about MS in the USA, and the hype is worth it, because the career opportunities, the academic opportunities, the practical exposure, the diverse exposure that you get in the USA while pursuing your MS is just unquestionable and undoubtedly the best. And that is precisely the reason we are talking about MS in the USA as a country. Then 50% less tuition fees if you go for any hybrid study options. I'm pretty sure you must have heard about these kind of programs where 1 year you can actually study in your own country, and you can work as well as attend the online classes which are there, and you can start pursuing your program, and in the second year you can actually go to the campus of that university and you can do it. So that's actually a hybrid model. So where first year of the MS program will be online, where while working you can attend the online classes and start pursuing your course, and in the second year you can actually go to the main campus and then do it offline, or the classroom environment will also be there. So that's the hybrid option. So if you do that, then definitely you will be able to save a lot of opportunity cost. So in the first year you will be able to do whatever work you are doing in any other company, and that will not affect in any way, and you will be earning your money as well. So the opportunity cost as in, when you go and study, you are not doing any work, right? And since you are not doing any work, you're not earning. So if you go and pursue your 2 years program, there's a lot of opportunity cost that you are paying, because if you would have spent those 2 years in working for a company, you would have earned a good amount of money. But since you are going and doing your offline classes, you cannot earn from any other company, and that's why there's a lot of opportunity cost which is involved in this, right? But if you consider the hybrid study programs, where in the first year you can work and at the same time attend the online program, attend the online classes, in that case you can save your opportunity cost. Also you can save upon your accommodation. So there is a lot of saving, around 50% of the tuition fees also you can save over there, and in the second year you can go to the campus and actually pursue it offline. So if you want to save your fees, then you can consider these hybrid study programs as well, which are provided by a lot of top global universities which are in the USA. Then strong emphasis on research and practical experience. So when we talk about Indian institutions, when I was drawing this comparison, I told you that in India, most of the focus is on the academic opportunities in terms of what you are learning in the class, the theoretical aspect of it. But when we talk about these top universities in the USA, a lot of focus is actually on the practical exposure. So what you are learning, how are you applying it to the real world problems, right? That is equally important. Whatever skills you are learning, that is one thing. Capabilities, skills and abilities, learning, that is one thing. But being at the position and being at a position where you can actually apply those skills to solve a real world problem, to solve some practical problem, that is another thing. And both of these things, both of these aspects of problem solving are actually covered when we talk about MS in the USA. And that is also one of the reasons a lot of people, if you talk about USA, most of the people who come to any other country, it's actually USA where a lot of foreigners will come and will study. And that is precisely the reason, because the kind of career and academic and practical exposure that you get over there cannot be compared with any other country. Then wide choice of specializations. As I already told you, if you want to do your MS in any domain, there is a very wide choice of specialization that you will get. If you're in computer science domain, there will be thousands of choices that you will have. If you're in the civil domain, you are in the mechanical domain, you are in any other engineering branch, right? Maybe you are in EC, you are in CC, any other branch, and you want to consider that, then definitely you will get a wide range of choices that you will have, and you can choose your specialization correctly, and then you can go for that particular program. So that is also one of the reasons, because there are so many choices that you get. So whatever your interests are and whichever program is aligned with your interest, you can definitely consider that and go ahead with that. Then renowned faculties and diverse exposure. As I told you, USA is a country which has so many good career opportunities and academic opportunities, and it is a home to top global universities, because of which a lot of foreigners and a lot of other students from different parts of the world will come. Across the world, people will be sitting there along with you, will be learning along with you. So definitely you will be able to share your ideas with them, you will be able to share your mindset with them, you will be able to share the kind of culture they have, the kind of diversity and the inclusion. You will be part of a whole circle. You will be able to understand the different parts of the world by being in such universities, because there are people coming from different parts of the world, and definitely that will help you not just at a professional level but also at a personal level. So the kind of diverse exposure that you get cannot be compared with any other country as well. So these are some of the top reasons that why a lot of people do go for MS in the USA, and why are we talking so much about MS in the USA, and why there's so much hype about it. So just to sum it up, USA is home to top global universities. We have named a few which are also written on your screen, like Johns Hopkins University, MIT, Stanford, Caltech, Columbia University, Stanford University. So all those are, along with some Ivy League colleges as well, are top global universities that you can be a part of. You get very good academic opportunities, career opportunities. Whatever you learn, you are also able to apply that. So a very good practical exposure and a research exposure as well. Along with that, we talked about 36 months post-study visa that you will be getting 3 years where you can do the optional practical trainings. And then if you want to cut a little bit on the fees or the economic aspect of it, that you can consider the hybrid study programs, where in the first year you can do it online, and in the second year you can actually go to the campus and you can do it offline. There you will be able to save on your opportunity cost as well as on your accommodation cost and the tuition fees too. So that's the beauty of pursuing your MS in the USA. Now moving forward, let's try and understand that what exactly is the eligibility criteria for MS in the USA. Now, when you talk about Indian universities or Indian institutions, which are good institutions, most of the focus for eligibility is on your academic background. What exactly is your percentage? How much did you score? How much did you get in your 10th? How much did you get in your 12th? Or how much did you get in your bachelor's? That is the major focus area. But when we talk about USA, the admission committee there take a very holistic approach. They do want to understand each and everything about you. What exactly is the reason you are going for a program? Why do you want to consider it? Whether you had done some community work or not? Do you have a good strong social mind or not? How are you at managing things? How are your technical mind is like, right? How are your problem solving skills are like? So they take a very holistic approach in terms of how developed you are as a person, what are your ambitions, what are your short term and long term career goals, right? And based upon all those things, based upon your reason for pursuing a particular program in a particular university in the USA, they consider whether you are a right fit for them or not. And that is the major difference when we compare Indian universities with the USA colleges or USA institutions. So the first point that you can see is definitely for eligibility, you will need for MS programs or MS degree, you will need a bachelor's degree, which we can say as a 4 years engineering or BS undergraduate. So if you have done your BTech or BE, then definitely you don't need to worry. You are eligible for the MS in the USA programs. Then proof of English language proficiency. So there are two famous exams for that you must be knowing. One is your IELTS and one is TOEFL. However, TOEFL is the one exam which is widely accepted in most of the top universities out there in USA. And that's why we will be talking about TOEFL in much more detail in the upcoming part of the session. Then GRE, but as of now GRE is actually waived off by most of the universities. However, GRE is still considered by quite a few USA universities. So if you do want to consider MS in the USA, you definitely need to know a little bit about GRE as well, which is your graduate record examination, and we'll again be discussing about this exam in the upcoming part of this session. Then SOP and LORs, that is statement of purpose and letters of recommendation. We'll be talking about what exactly is statement of purpose and what exactly is a letter of recommendation. But SOP and LOR are again very important and are one of the most crucial deciding factors in your journey of getting into the MS programs or the MS degree programs in the USA. So these are a few things which you should definitely check. If you are planning to go for MS in the USA, you should have a bachelor's degree. You should clear one of the English proficiency language test, which can be IELTS or TOEFL. TOEFL is more important as it is widely accepted by most of the USA universities. GRE also is very important. However, it is waived off by most universities. And then your statement of purpose and letter of recommendations, right? So those are a few things which you will definitely need to take if you are planning to go for MS in the USA. Now, as I already told you, that other than your academic qualifications, one more thing which is required is how good are you at things which are not just related to your academics. I told you that US universities admit students using a holistic approach. They don't just want to look at your CGPA and want to look at your percentage. They also want to know what are the extracurricular activities that you were involved in, maybe in your college. Whether is there any faculty or counselor recommendations that you have. Then community or volunteer service, if you have worked for any NGO or something like that, that will hold some value as well, and that will make you a better choice for them. Then unique talents or passions, if you have any. For example, right now in your college you are involved in some dramatic society, you are involved in some photography club, you are working for a few NGOs. Definitely those things will also be very very important when you will be going for the MS program in the USA universities or the top universities. So that's something that you definitely need to pay attention to. If you do not have any experience other than your academics, then this is the right time. You should definitely begin that. You can start doing some extracurricular activities, start building up a few unique talents and passions, which will definitely help you have a very strong SOP or statement of purpose, which indirectly will help you in your admission process for sure when you will be considering MS in the USA. Now it is time for you to ask me any questions, any queries that you might have. So I'm going to stop here for a while, and in that time, during that time, I'll also request all the students to go to the description, fill the link which is provided, and our experts and program managers will reach out to you. So if you need one-on-one session, you want to understand more about MS in the USA, the top universities there, you want to understand more about, how you can align your career goals with MS in the USA programs, what exactly are the universities that you should look for, you want one-on-one session, please go to the description box, fill the link which is provided, and our experts will reach out to you and will clarify all your doubts and will help you out in this process further as well. So please let me know if you have any questions till now, whatever I have covered. If you have any doubts, any clarifications which are required, do let me know in the chat box. I'll be more than happy to help you with that. Okay, somebody is asking me, can a tier 3 college student can get admission in the USA? Yes, Sumit, even tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, that's what I meant when I told you that most of the US universities will take a very holistic approach. So even if you are from a not so good college or maybe a tier 3 college or any other college which is not very renowned or does not have a very great QS ranking, maybe in that case as well, what exactly is the profile that you have? What are the scores that you have in your college? What are the extracurricular activities that you are involved in? Are you working for some NGO or not? Are you involved in some community work, some volunteering service or not? Do you have good SOP? Do you have good letter of recommendation from your faculties, from your project advisors, etc.? If you have all those things will have equal weightage. It's not just your college which will matter. They take a very holistic approach, so you don't need to worry about that. Right? I hope I have answered your question. All right. So I don't see any more questions. There are a few people who are asking me to discuss about this in Hindi. Definitely we can take this feedback and we can come up with a session. But as of now, for this session, keeping the audience in the mind, we will be proceeding with this session in English itself. But in the upcoming session, definitely we can take this feedback and we can conduct a session in Hindi as well. Thanks for sharing your feedback. Now moving forward with this particular session, as you can see on the screen, the next question that you might have is choosing the right universities. Right, so you have discussed that, okay, what exactly is MS? USA is a good country that you can consider if you want to go for your MS. It is home to some top global universities. We have discussed the eligibility criteria, that the admission committee takes a very holistic approach. All of that is clear now. But how do you choose the university? There are so many top universities there. How will you choose the right one? It's like going to a shop, if there's a very good brand that you really like, you get into the showroom, you see so many good clothes out there, you just can't choose because it's full of good clothes, it's full of excellent clothes that you genuinely like or excellent shoes that you genuinely like. So you'll have a hard time choosing the right one. And that is exactly the case with USA. How will you choose the right university when you have decided to pursue your MS in the USA? That is something we will be covering over here. So the first thing is choose your specialization wisely. Do not just go for the university. Definitely choosing the right university, choosing a good university is one of the most important things that you can do. But at the same time, you cannot completely ignore the specialization, because whatever specialization you are going to choose, you are going to take for your MS, that is going to stay with you for the rest of your life. If you do your MS in the computer science, if you do your MS in the data science, that is the kind of jobs, that is the kind of career trajectory you will have for the future, for your future prospects in general. So that is how the career is going to move forward in your life. So you have to make a very very informed choice there, that what is the university that you want. 50% is that, and then 50% is what is the specialization that you want. So keeping the specialization and the good college in mind, you can make a right choice. So that is the first thing. You need to decide what is the specialization you want, and you need to take a very very informed decision on that. Then check the university ranking. You need to consider the university, as I already told you, 50% what is the specialization, and 50% what exactly is the university. Then explore the course curriculum or the content that you will be covering actually. So you need to keep in mind what exactly are the different goals that you have for your career. Keeping that in mind, you need to explore the courses of different good universities that you are considering, and then you can figure out whether they are covering all the things that you wish to cover, that you wish to pursue, and then based upon that you can take a decision. Then look into the accommodation. So there are two options for that: on campus accommodation and off campus accommodation. So you need to figure out what exactly is the economic aspect there as well, how much will you be spending on campus, off campus, and based upon that you can take a very holistic approach in terms of choosing the right university for yourself, right? Then return on investment. So what exactly is the money that you are spending, the tuition fees, the confirmation deposit that you are spending, the accommodation, the cost of living. Considering all those things, how much is the investment that you are making, and what exactly can you expect to earn once you have pursued your MS in the USA. Keeping both those things in mind, you can take a better decision. You need to figure out what exactly is the amount that you are spending, and what exactly will be the amount that you will be able to earn once you have pursued your MS. Once you'll keep those things in mind, you will understand what will be the return of investment for this entire journey, which will help you in taking a much more better informed decision. Then attend the virtual webinars or seminars, which will help you in understanding more about your background and how you can align it with some MS in the USA, which are some top universities there. So for that, I have already told you that if you want to get in touch with us, go to the description, fill the link which is provided over there. Our experts, our managers will reach out to you and will help you out in taking a much more better informed decision, right? Now, moving forward, let's discuss a little bit about GRE and TOEFL, which are the exams, the famous exams. So when we talk about GRE, which is your graduate record examination, there are three major sections in that: analytical writing, verbal reasoning, and quantitative reasoning. So when we talk about analytical writing, verbal reasoning, and quantitative reasoning, these are the three major sections and portions. These basically three sections make the major portions of the GRE test, and these are the three sections that you generally need to pay attention to. The maximum score that you can get in GRE is 340, and the total exam duration is of 3 hours and 45 minutes. Now, in the analytical writing, there will be only one section, and you will have two tasks in that, and total 60 minutes will be given to you. So the two tasks are basically, one is on analyzing an issue and one is on analyzing an argument. In verbal reasoning, you will have two sections and there will be total 40 questions, and the total time that will be given to you will be around 60 minutes. Then quantitative reasoning, again there will be two sections, around 40 questions, and total time will be more than the other two sections. So for analytical writing and verbal reasoning, the total time given to you is 60 minutes for each. However, in quantitative reasoning, you will be getting around 70 minutes to solve around 40 questions within the two sections. So these are the three major sections in GRE: analytical writing, verbal reasoning, and quantitative reasoning. In analytical writing, there's one section of two tasks, 60 minutes are given to you. In verbal reasoning, you have two sections of 40 questions and 60 minutes are given to you. In quantitative reasoning, you get some more time, extra 10 minutes. So the total time is around 70 minutes to solve 40 questions within the two different sections. In analytical writing, you have to express difficult concepts lucidly and successfully. You have to conceptualize with pertinent justifications and examples, examine the assertions and supporting details, maintain a focused logical conversation, and command the components of standardized written English. The grammar and the tense is part of it. You will need to have a standardized format, keeping in mind that you will have to express your thoughts and your perception very lucidly and successfully for the easy understanding or the easy grasp of the other person. Then comes the verbal reasoning. In this, you have to examine the speech and interpret conclusion. It is more about your active listening as well. Reason from insufficient data. Then cite the author's perspectives or assumptions. Then understand a text structure. So it's basically you need to find a reasoning in the verbal part of it. That's the major area. You need to examine the speech, interpret the conclusions. It's about reading something and eventually get the main output out of it. When you read a text, let's say it's of 2000 words, you read it, but what exactly do you get out of it? There will be one moral out of it, one sentence out of it that you can make out, that you can find that this is the output after reading this much. So that shows what exactly is your ability to grasp something, how exactly do you perceive something, and how exactly you interpret something. So that's what this test and this part of the test is all about. Then the final one is quants, that is quantitative reasoning. So in this, you have to understand, interpret, and analyze the quantitative data. You have to utilize mathematical tools and statistical tools to solve problems. And the fundamental knowledge of mathematics, algebra, geometry, and statistics will be required over here to solve this. So this relates your maths with statistics, and all the concepts of algebra, geometry are also very, very important. There are also quantitative reasoning is, by the way, the part of the test which is very, very relatable to all other Indian exams as well. So if you do want to consider this, these are the only three sections: quantitative reasoning, verbal reasoning, and analytical writing. So if you master these three sections, you will definitely be able to get a very good score in GRE, that is somewhere close to 290 or more. So the maximum score that you can get in GRE is 340, and if you want a good score and you want to get considered by those top universities, you will need somewhere close to 280 or 290 or more than that, so that you can get admission in the top universities. Then the final exam, the final test that you will need to take is TOEFL. So there are two exams for English proficiency, IELTS and TOEFL, as we discussed, but TOEFL is widely accepted, and TOEFL stands for Test of English as a Foreign Language. So the beauty of USA is that you don't need to be good at any other language other than English. So for example, if you consider Germany or you consider France, you will need to learn Germany, or you will need to learn Spanish or French or any other language. But language is not a barrier when we talk about the USA. And that's why cracking TOEFL is also not a very tough deal if you have good command over the language. And that's exactly the test it is for. So they will be taking this test to know whether your command over the language is good or not. It is a standardized test that measures your mastery of the English language. It evaluates your proficiency in speaking and understanding English by looking at your reading, speaking, listening, and writing skills. So all the four aspects. So whenever you talk about any language, there are four aspects in that. Number one, how do you read it? Number two, how do you speak it? Number three, how do you listen to other person, whether you can listen to it actively or not? And number four, how do you write it? Combining all those four aspects is what you will actually be tested upon when we talk about TOEFL or Test of English as a Foreign Language. So as I told you, there are four aspects or the four components of this test: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Each of these components, the maximum score will be somewhere around 30. You will be getting 30 to 40 questions in the reading part, 28 to 38 questions in the listening part. You will be getting 4 tasks and 2 tasks respectively in speaking and writing. The maximum score that you can get in each of these 4 sections is 30. So the total score that you can get in this particular exam of TOEFL is 13 to 4. That is your 120 marks, or 120 is the total score, maximum score that you can get. Out of that, if you get 80 or above, that is considered to be very good for the top global universities. So in the reading section, you will be reading 3 to 4 academic texts and responding to questions based upon them. In listening, you will be answering questions based on lectures, dialogues, and classroom discussions that you have just listened to. And in speaking, your speaking skills will be checked By candidates must talk based on reading and listening exercises and give their viewpoint on a common topic. And in writing, candidates must support their writing arguments with evidence from reading and listening assignments in essays. So these are the 4 parts of this particular test, and you will be checked upon your writing, reading, listening and speaking skills. The maximum score in TOEFL that you can get is 120, out of which if you score 80 or above, that is considered to be very good. Now the next thing that we have is SOPs and LOR, that is statement of purpose and letters of recommendation. So as I already discussed, SOP or statement of purpose is an essay cum application written by the student. So your LOR or letters of recommendation are written by your guides or your faculties. If you are in any engineering college, you will have a few professors that you know, they will be writing the LOR for you or the letter of recommendation for you. But when we talk about the statement of purpose, that is written by the student himself. As the name suggests, it is the statement which defines your purpose. It is also known as your essay cum application, where you will be writing an essay about why you are interested in the particular university, why you are interested in the particular course, why you are interested in the particular specialization, what is your ambition, what are your short-term, long-term goals, what is your background like, what is the holistic profile that you have, what is the work that you have done, what has your professional journey been like. Each of those things is mentioned in your statement of purpose. And the statement of purpose is one of the most crucial deciding factors in producing acceptance from the university. In USA universities, a statement of purpose carries a lot of weightage in the admission process, especially for MS programs. So when we talk about the Indian universities, there is no SOP. The main section, the main importance is given to the exam that you are writing and your academic background. But when we talk about the USA university, as I told you, the admission committee takes a very holistic approach. So whatever your exams are that you have written, what is your academic background, that is one thing, but what you write in your SOP is also one of the major deciding factors in procuring acceptance from those top global universities. This essay gives the admission committee an idea about who you are and how you will add value to the university. Right? So what exactly is the value addition that you will be doing to the university, and why they should make you as a part of this program? You know, why should they choose you over the other students? That is something that you justify in your statement of purpose. Now you might ask is that what exactly are the major components of a good SOP or statement of purpose? So number one is your personal background, then your academic details, whatever you have scored in your college exams, if you have cracked any scholarships, etc. For example, in India, there are so many scholarships like KVPY or National Talent Search Examination, NTSE. If you have done any of those things, that is something that you should definitely mention in your SOP. Then financial background, professional experience, if you have any, you have done any internships, you have done any projects, all those things. Then why this country, why this course, why are you interested in a particular specialization? You know, why are you interested in the USA? Maybe the reason is that there are great career opportunities. Maybe the reason is that it is home to some top global universities. Maybe you want that 36 months post-work visa, right? So there can be several reasons that you need to think about. You need to have clarity of thoughts and then clarity of words to write the same in your SOP or statement of purpose. Then what are the extracurricular activities that you are involved in, any community service, volunteering work that you have done, any published work, any research work that you had done under some guide, under some project advisor, under your faculty in the college, anything like that. If you had done, you have any published work, definitely mention that to show your research exposure in your SOP. Then your short-term and long-term career goals, and always remember your short-term and long-term goals should always be aligned with the values of the university, with the values of the program that you want to pursue, that you want to have, and for which you are applying basically. Because if your short-term and long-term goals are not aligned with each other, that shows that you are not very well aware and you don't have clarity about what you want in life, and that is something that you would definitely not like to write in your SOP. So make sure you show clarity, you write about all the details which are necessary, you write it in a concise manner so that you can get a good acceptance from those top global universities that you definitely want to be a part of. Then the next we have is letter of recommendation. So as I told you, letter of recommendation is a document by your professor, project guide or reporting manager. So if you have done your engineering and you want to consider MS in the USA, then your reporting manager can also write your letter of recommendation. It is attached with your application and written by somebody reliable with whom you have worked before. So let's say you have done some internship under a guide, that person can write your letter of recommendation. If you have worked in any NGO and there you have worked under somebody who's reliable, who that person knows you inside and out, then they can also write your letter of recommendation. If you are still in your college, then you can ask your faculties, your HODs to write the letter of recommendation for you as well. It affirms your knowledge, abilities, skills, expertise, and accomplishments. What are the accomplishments, achievements that you have got while you are working with those people? That is something which is mentioned in your letter of recommendation. Then the next thing you might ask me is letter of recommendation. What are the primary sections in that? Number one is university or the official letterhead. Then title and address of the university where the letter is being submitted. So you definitely need to mention that as well. The student and the employee's full name. So if you are a student, then it will be your full name. If you are an employee, then also your full name must be mentioned so that the university or the receiving people will know that, okay, this is the person from where we have got the letter of recommendation from. Then referee's designation and relationship with the applicant. So if your reporting manager is writing, they need to mention about your relationship with them. What exactly are your achievements? What exactly have you achieved while you are working under them or alongside them? Then specific accomplishments of the student employee that are directly relevant to the course being applied to. There's no point of writing something which is irrelevant for the course. So make sure when you are writing, when you are asking the people to write your letter of recommendation, you become very, very clear about it and make sure all the details which are provided are relevant for the course that you are applying to. That a conclusive statement about the referee's level of support and enthusiasm, as well as an invitation to contact them for additional information. So the university who's going to receive the letter of recommendation might have a few queries about your relationship with that person, might have a few queries about your background, about your achievements, about your skills and abilities. Then they can get in touch with the person who's writing the letter of recommendation, and for that an invitation to contact them for the additional information should also be mentioned in your letter of recommendation. That is your LOR. Now, if you have any questions, any queries, please do let me know in the chat box. If you don't have any questions, I'll take up a few questions which I have seen that a lot of students might already have. If I end up, missing something, please do let me know in the chat box and I'll take those queries as well. So the number one is, what are the career opportunities after MS in the USA? So as I already mentioned that if you go for programs like MS in data science or MS in computer science, the career opportunities are so good. If you talk about, the top global 500 Fortune companies, out of which around 121 or 122 companies are in the USA. So you can talk about the emerging industries that are there, and definitely you can be a part of all those good companies, all those good industries, all those good sectors. If you pursue your MS in the USA, career opportunities are going to be, so great after that. So there's no need to worry and there's no hesitation that you should have in case you are thinking about your career opportunities while you pursue your MS in the USA, because definitely the opportunities are going to be great and you will be able to get into some good companies and you will be able to handle the kind of projects that you really want to. Then what is the minimum criteria for the CGPA? So as I told you, most of the colleges, most of the institutions go for a very holistic approach. However, it is very good idea to maintain a CGPA which is around 70% or more than that. So 70% or more is the answer to this question. Then what is the cost of studying MS in the USA? It again depends upon, where you will be staying, off-campus accommodation, on-campus accommodation, all those things. But if you consider the cost of tuition fees, then in terms of tuition fees also, it it depends upon the university or the college that you're applying to. However, it is good to consider somewhere close to 60,000 US dollar. That is minimum that you can expect. Then what TOEFL score is required for admission to the top universities? That is something we have already covered, that the maximum TOEFL score that you can get is 120. If you have a score of 80 or more, then definitely you have very good chances. Similarly, GRE score, what is the good score? So the total score or the maximum score that you can get in GRE is 340. And if you are considering very good universities, expecting somewhere close to 290 or more, so a score of 290 or more is considered to be good for some top global universities. Then when should I apply for the visa? So basically, first of all, offer letter is received. So once you receive your offer letter and you pay your confirmation fees or confirmation deposit, you will be receiving an I-20 form from the university, which basically shows that you are legally enrolled in one program in the USA. Then you can start your interview process for the visa, right? So once you pay your confirmation fees and receive the I-20 form, then you can go for it. Then how many years of post-graduation work visa will I get? 36 months for the STEM program. That is around 3 years. So if you are considering any STEM program, that is science, technology, engineering or mathematics, then you will be getting a 36 months post-graduation work visa or OPT, and definitely the career opportunities will be great because you will get 3 years to explore and start working. Then what is the minimum experience required for admission into top universities? The answer to this question is no requirement as such. If you are a fresher, you are directly just passing your engineering and want to get there, definitely you can consider that, and there will not be any kind of harm that you will get over there, right? So definitely there's no requirement as such in terms of eligibility. You can consider even if you are a fresher or you just passed from your college or graduated from your engineering college. Then how can I apply for scholarships? Yes, you can apply for scholarships. It depends whether it's need based or merit based. However, if you want to spend some time over there, it depends very much on the universities that you are applying to, the institution that you are applying to, and also whether you have the need of it or you actually scored very well and you can get it on the merit basis, right? So those are the main things that students generally ask. If you have any other question, please do let me know in the chat box. All right, so I see Babita is asking me that please tell us more about 1+1 structure. Okay, so 1+1 structure is the hybrid program basically. As we have already discussed, in a lot of US universities, we have hybrid structure where in the first year, so as I told you, MS degree is for 2 years. So in these hybrid programs or 1+1 program, in the first year, you can do the online program where you can work in the company that you are currently working in, and you can attend the course online, where you can attend all the online classes, the webinars, do all the stuff online, and you don't need to go to the campus. So you will be earning, and at the same time you will be enrolled in the program as well. However, in the second year, you will need to go to the campus and you can start pursuing your course offline in a classroom environment where you can explore, different people from different culture. You will get a good diverse exposure. You will be able to interact with the faculty face on face as well. And overall, so that's the 1+1 structure. First year online, second year offline. You will be able to save a lot of cost as well. Opportunity cost that we talked about. You will also be able to save your accommodation cost, tuition fees as well. So overall, you can expect somewhere like 50% tuition fees that will be reduced, and along with that you will be earning in the first year too. So that's a very good option. If you want to consider, you want to save some fees as well, you can definitely consider this hybrid model or 1+1 model. I hope your question is answered, Babita. Yes, Babita, you are right. This will definitely allow you to save money because in the first year you will be working for a company, so you will be able to earn the money, right? And at the same time, you will be doing everything online. So there will not be any kind of problem there, and you will be earning at the same time you will be doing it. You will not have to pay for accommodation as well. Just in the second year, you will have to go to the campus and will have to do it. So I hope that gives you some clarity. Now Sumit is asking me, after doing 4-year job can get admission. Yes Sumit, most definitely. If you have done a 4-year job also, if you have not done a job, you are a fresher, there is no requirement, no eligibility like that. Whatever experience you have is definitely going to help you instead. So if you are a fresher, you don't have any experience, right? But that is not going to be a disadvantage for you. However, if you have any experience and you have done something professionally, that is only going to help you and is going to be an added advantage for you. So don't need to worry. Definitely you can consider MS in the USA. Sumit, I hope I have answered your query. If there are any more questions, any more queries, please do let me know in the chat box. If there are no questions, I would just like to let all of you know that if you want to have a one-on-one session, you want some kind of counseling related to your specific background, whether you come from an engineering background or any other background, whether you want to consider CS, data science, you want to know more about the universities, the specializations, please go to the description of this session and there you'll find a link. Go to that link, fill the details. Once you'll fill those details, our program managers or the experts will reach out to you and will help you in making a much more better informed decision. Sumit is saying, okay, sir, got it. Babita is saying, thank you. Thank you for asking these questions and being very, very enthusiastic throughout. If you have any more questions, any queries, please do let me know in the chat box. So I'll be waiting for a few minutes and then we can wind up this session. All right, so I don't see any more questions. Again, I would like to thank everybody that you gave me around 1 hour of your time and you have attended this session. You have been very, very enthusiastic throughout and have asked me a lot of questions. I hope I was able to answer all your queries and I hope this session was very, very helpful for you also in case you are considering MS in the USA. I have given you enough reasons for you to go for MS in the USA. We have discussed why USA is the country that you should consider because there are so many good colleges there where you get good career opportunities, academic opportunities, research exposure, practical exposure, diverse exposure. So all those things definitely gives you enough number of reasons for you to consider MS in the USA. We have also considered the eligibility criteria, the importance of writing a good SOP, LORs, that is letter of recommendations. Along with that, we have covered 2 tests as well, that is GRE graduate record examination and your test of English as a foreign language, which is your English proficiency language test, that is your TOEFL. So GRE is of 340 marks. Getting 290 plus is something that you should definitely hope for. And similarly for TOEFL, the maximum score that you can get is around 120. If you get somewhere close to 80 and more, definitely that is going to be a help for you and going to be an added advantage in case you are considering MS in the USA. We also talked about our hybrid model that you can get. So in case you want to save a lot of cost, definitely this is the model that you can consider, where in the first year you can stay in your own country, work, and at the same time do the program online. Second year you can go to the campus and do it offline. So I hope I was able to answer all your queries. I hope I was able to give you some good information over here. If you have any more questions, any queries, fill the link which is given in the description. Our program managers and experts will reach out to you and will help you with all your queries that you might have related to your specific background. Thanks again for being a part of this session.